Today on episode 149 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, our MLB Playoff Predictions, the NFL Week 5 Pick Show, and the TCF Top 3 of Scary Movies. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 149 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure to find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram and give those pages a like. For all of our content in video form, you can find us on YouTube. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans, hit the red subscribe button. Wherever you find your podcast, we are there, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, wherever you get them, we are there. Make sure you like and subscribe there. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, and, of course, the gentleman that I'm joined with tonight, that is Zach at Z, Lilia TCF, and Maddie at Schools_01. Boys, a little bit warmer this week. We always break in with the weather. It's been a little bit warmer this week than it was last week, but I still can't complain. We're beautiful fall days here.
Yeah, we've had beautiful weather, and I don't think it's going to change too much here in the next few weeks, so I am very excited for the end of golf season. You're out there, and it's like 55, 60. Perfect weather.
Yep, we've talked about it a million times. Got the hoodie, and sometimes you got to throw the joggers or the shorts. Either way, you're good. It's literally perfect.
I hate playing golf in the hot. I hate being hot golfing. I know that's a hot take because it's usually hot when you're golfing. I hate it.
Speaking of joggers, I need a young person's opinion on this. Fat dudes can't pull joggers off. Am I wrong here?
No, we can't.
Wear whatever you
joggers
want.
Are great.
We can. So joggers are a play for me, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Man, you seem like a guy that's got good calves. You got good calves.
Got good calves. I got a good base.
Yeah. You'll pull them off. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep, I highly recommend them.
I've got them on my kid. He likes them. He looks good in them. But so it's like, can I do this? But no, I don't think I can. But back to what's important is the weather real quick. I just want to mention the difference. We had soccer practice tonight, and it was the difference tonight being 70 at 6 o'clock compared to a week ago when it was like 40 at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Like these are the days that you just got to bottle up, enjoy the shit out of. And I don't know. The weekends have been good for bonfires. And if we can get nights during the week like this, it's perfect.
Absolutely. I hit 2 bonfires on Saturday night, and like you said, perfect is the correct word to use there.
I probably went through I don't know, 25, 30 logs on Saturday, just from about 4 o'clock until 11. Just kept churning it, man. It was awesome.
Gotta love it, man. This perfect time of year, like we keep saying. Let's jump into Sinkers and Floaters as always to get the show started. I will start off with something that has been a sinker of mine 2 of the last 3 weeks now, and that's protesters. Everybody saw the video. Protester decided to run on the field at the Rams 49ers game on Monday night and got absolutely lit up by Bobby Wagner and teammate
If that happened to me, I'm not getting up.
Oh no, you gotta lay on the ground. They got absolutely fired. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Bobby Wagner for absolutely lighting him up. I thought it was great. If you're a pro athlete, you dream of an opportunity like this.
100%.
Because you're the hero.
Yes. You get to get back to football, and that's all we really want. I mean,
the home team there is going ballistic for you at that point. Like, they were cheering for him.
People were actually saying that maybe it was a gender reveal.
Oh, didn't think of that, but it'd be a ballsy thing to do.
It was not. It was not a
gender reveal. It was out of here.
It was somebody trying to get their point across in, I'd have to say, the worst way.
Yeah, and it couldn't have ended more poorly for this young gentleman who decided to take to the field. But it was one of those. It felt like Bobby Wagner and McKinley had to have tapped each other and if this guy comes our way, We got to go for the tackle.
You want to piss people off, you ruin a part of their Monday Night Football.
Yes.
You're going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah. Look at Aaron Judge, every cut in on Sunday.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Thank
It was
you.
ridiculous.
Thank you for that. Maddie, my sinker is the people who say that the Aaron Judge home run record is the real home run record. I saw Boomy put something on Twitter before the show. Say what you want. Sammy Sosa has more home runs. Barry Bonds has more home runs. Mark McGwire has more home runs. What are we talking about here? I understand it's awesome. He broke the AL record. 62 home runs. That's a lot of home runs. Good for him. Yeah. But give me a break.
Yeah, someone tweeted like, "Oh, thank God that we can finally celebrate him setting the 7th place record for most home runs in a season." I thought that was pretty spot on. It's like, dude.
Because my thing is, you say what you want about Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa. Technically, I guess they didn't fail a drug test. They never really tested for it. And the balls are juiced nowadays. You got to say that. I mean, Albert Pujols is out here hitting how many home runs?
Yeah.
Aside from that, I want to see Barry Bonds hitting in that fucking porch in right field too.
Oh
yeah,
and not in San Francisco, which is like a notorious pitcher's park.
And am I wrong, or were there also pitchers that were involved in steroids too that they were playing against?
No, it was only hitters, Zach. It was only hitters.
What are we talking about? It's very annoying.
Couldn't agree more. It's done. It's over with.
The playing field was as level then as it is now. If you can dispute that, then fine. But I don't think that's disputable.
Yeah, it's done. It's over with. We can all move on. Thank God.
Stop ruining my sporting events by cutting in. I understand. Yes, you still have one on the other, but I don't need to see every Aaron Judge at bat. I don't really care.
Yeah, that's a good point. Couldn't care less. Maddie, you got a sinker for us this week?
I do, and it's somebody I don't really have too strong of feelings on either way, give or take, kind of depending on the wind. But my sinker right now is Elon Musk, and I can't. Are you buying Twitter or are you not buying Twitter? I mean,
he's going to lose. I'm pretty sure he's going to lose that lawsuit, so he kind of has to.
Well, now it's not. It was announced today that he is buying. But my other thing, though, that happened this week with Elon Musk is he released footage of a butler that is a robot, and I'm very pro butler. I've never had a butler. I want a butler. I'm definitely pro butler.
Jeffrey.
I would love a butler. I mean, I don't think there'd be more important, like more things of like just making your life easier than having a butler. I think that'd be sick. But I'm very anti-robot, and I don't think I'm taking that into my house and letting a robot just handle my laundry when I'm sleeping, because obviously he's gonna get pissed off at some point. Something's gonna flip, something's gonna trigger, and boom, the house is burned down. I'm left in shambles, whatever it may be. I think at this point too, like there's big push with robots everywhere, and I think it's very either. I would say it's probably 70% against and 30% pro. At this point in my life, I would take contact with aliens, I think, over a swarm of robots being like just invaded in the general public.
Maddie, I think you're fighting it too much. Like I've just given like Emperor Elon and Bezos are just going to rule the world, and I think I'm
fine with them hearing every conversation I have in my house. That's fine. I don't care about that. Just don't. I don't need something literally dropped in my house that can actually kill me.
That's fair. I think that's a fair point. And then also, Maddie, to add on to that, you see Elon Musk get body bagged by Zelensky from the Ukraine on Twitter.
No, I didn't.
He was like saying something about in support of the Ukraine, and then Zelensky said put out a poll on Twitter, said like, which Elon Musk are you more a fan of? It says like the Elon Musk that supports the Ukraine or one that supports Russia. Like it just kind of going after him, on that end with the whole Starlink internet thing, I think was a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes these people that try to show off everything that they do, and sometimes it gets called to the carpet, and
yeah,
like that's what it is there. I mean, I don't think Elon Musk is a bad person inherently. I think he's actually trying to do decent things for society or whatever. I do think he's definitely full of himself, and I think he likes to talk
what
about
I would
how
say
he
is some things just need to be left off of social media.
totally agree. Couldn't agree more. Well said, Zach.
Go be rich. Go be rich. Stay off of social media. What are we talking about? Like, why would you if I had that much money, which I guess, I mean, he is a billionaire, right?
Do we want the richest person on the planet to be responsible for the public forum of the world, though? I mean, in all reality,
hard pass.
I mean, again, I'm not an anti-Elon guy, but let's think about that. Like,
It's like signing up to be the president of the United States. No thanks.
I mean, there's a lot of sway there. There's elections of world. Now, I'm not talking about elections in our country. There's elections worldwide that have been won due to social media.
Yeah.
And now the richest person in the world's in control of like the biggest platform for information sharing. Like, I don't know. It seems crazy, but whatever.
Matt, I appreciate that lead in because my floater is political ads. And that is because in the state of Louisiana.
I literally was just about to talk about that.
Motherfuckers.
Well,
horrendous.
This is my floater because a woman, Katie Darling, a 36-year-old business executive running for a seat in Louisiana against Republican Steve Scalise, put out a new campaign ad. And in the ad, she gives birth to a child. Yeah. She is first seen in the ad very pregnant on her farm in St. Tammany Parish with her husband, John, and their 6-year-old daughter. As it goes on, you see her in the hospital in a, very, cinematic way giving birth. And then at the end, it shows her, holding her new son, Ollie. So they're going deep here. This is a little too much, a little too invasive for my, needing to see at least.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But the political ones that I'm annoyed of are the ones that are on during football Sunday. I'm trying to watch football. Unfortunately, we have to watch the commercials sometimes, and we get the worst political commercials. There's some wild ones.
They're all the same too, right?
Are people just allowed to say whatever they want to say?
Yeah, pretty much. There's no policing that.
We get this newspaper sent to us. It's called the Kane County Reporter, and it's literally like this weekly newspaper that's been mailed directly to everybody, and it is the most like far like ultra right slanted like conservative news. Like, it is wild takes. Why, like, everything is so very slanted towards conservative issues. And they try to pass it off like it's just like this normal look. Like, it looks like a newspaper. It looks like a straight up newspaper. It's hilarious.
Maddie, I may need you to box those up and ship them to my house so we can use those for wacky web stories.
I'll send them to you. I'll scan one to you tomorrow.
Yes, I can't wait to see this.
I have them in my garage. Because that's the only, I don't have a newspaper that comes, and it's great for fire starters. So I use 100% the strips of it to start fires with, and that's the only newspaper I have. So I have a few of those saved in my garage.
Right. Well, shout out to them for providing fire kindling for you.
Yeah, it's great.
My floater is what I'm watching right now, which is the Bulls Pelicans game. It's the NBA filling Tuesday, Wednesdays for us. We'll also have the baseball playoffs coming up here, but it's always nice to have a bunch of basketball games on like a Tuesday, Wednesday when there's no football, at least here for the next few weeks. I don't know when the actual NBA season starts, but something to watch because they don't really play a lot of MLB games. Like, you could maybe watch one per night.
Right.
But if you it's not too much money, the NBA League Pass, you can watch all the games. And the nice thing is you don't get blocked out of them.
Yeah, take some notes, MLB, you buffoons.
You know, there's people in Iowa that can't watch the Cubs games.
Yep.
That's crazy to me. What's the point of
Yep.
getting it if you can't even watch the team that you want to watch? Well, it makes no sense.
Yeah, the MLB. Well, that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. How bad the MLB is at marketing
What's the point
itself.
of that? What's the point of that though? They don't make money there or something?
I think there's something with like the agreement with like different cable companies about the broadcasting rights. I don't know. It's a deep dive we'll have to get into at another time. I'll do some research and see what I can find. But it is so stupid. So stupid. But yeah, it's good to have, it's a perfect like preseason NBA is a perfect like secondary TV thing to have on, a little something in the background, especially once MLB playoffs start. So can't complain with that. Maddie.
Me? All right. You want my floater or you want my take on the NBA? I don't know what you're looking for from me.
Either one.
Well, I don't have much to say on the NBA. I do have to say preseason NHL is brutal to watch.
Yeah.
So that's a tough sport to watch right now as well. And I know that's our other counterpart to fill up the weeks here. But I don't know. The Bulls I'm a little worried about. So it's dampening my excitement for the NBA season because it's like with no Lonzo Ball, I just don't know that the Bulls really have much of a shot.
I am nervous.
Can't disagree with you there. Nervous is a great word.
For my floater, I don't know if you can if you got what I sent you earlier, Zach, and I don't know if that would even play here, but it's a new form of MMA.
This is what it looks like right when the fight starts.
It's called phone booth fights, and I watched a couple videos on Twitter of a few different fights that literally two guys back to back in a basically a British style box phone booth, and it's just a brawl until one of them's down, and it's the wildest thing you've ever seen. Go to the Spin and Back Fist Twitter account and go down to a tweet from today, October 4th, and you'll see a video clip from it. It's an absolute scene. It's exactly what you would expect with two guys. Like, you can't punch each other really, but you're just doing everything. You're throwing as much like elbows, hands, fists, anything.
A lot of jabs
to try to, like, I don't know, survive this little box of hell that you're in for a few seconds. So wild thing to watch. Absolutely hilarious. I couldn't help myself. It was like watching a train wreck. I couldn't stop.
Those are great. Did you also see the one, Maddie, where they fought in a convertible car?
No, but I think that I've heard about that, and I think getting these close quarters, like hand-to-hand combat matches, it's just a recipe for fucking disaster. But
yeah, I mean, especially if you get knocked out standing up, like you can't like crumble down.
Right,
you're gonna take a couple extra shots.
And I don't like. There's a referee for a reason, so you can see like someone's and it has no ability to defend themselves. And when you get to that point where you can't defend yourself, bad things can fucking happen. And so it's just like, I don't know, man. Like I think they just got to tread lightly as much as I can. Stop laughing.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. I saw that video. It's hilarious, but like it does in the back of your head, that little like alarm is like, hey, maybe this isn't such a great idea,
Great for a cheap thrill. I'm not gonna lie.
100%. Let's go ahead and jump into the TCF Sports Minute. We'll be quick on baseball. Both teams have been eliminated. The Cubs currently sitting at 73 and 88. The White Sox at 80 and 80. Both teams eliminated. It is official. Tony La Russa has retired and will not return next year. But the Cubs, I mean, sorry to keep bouncing around on you, Zach. We'll talk about the Cubs here in a minute. And we talked about this last week, but like, there are guys that are playing well, and the Cubs have been, I couldn't tell you the exact stat, but they have something like, a top 8 record since the All-Star break. And they're a team that got eliminated with, 3 weeks left of the season. And, that's what you like to see in a team in a rebuild, is that they're finding guys. And now granted, a lot of detractors are going to say, well, they got to play the Reds, 8 times. They played the Pirates and the like that. It is what it is. But, you're seeing stuff out of guys that you want to see and that are going to be competing. And I know we've said this many times, but you want to finish the season, especially in a season where we know that, pretty much since April, this team's not going to the playoffs. You want to finish that season on the high end, whereas the White Sox finished it on the low end. It's got to sting a little bit.
Yeah. But the Cubs have to do something this offseason. I'd say it's the biggest offseason they've had in a long time.
It's Trey Turner or bust, as far as I'm concerned.
I'd even settle with Correa.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm going that much money for Correa, I'm just going to pay the extra, whatever it takes to get Turner at that point.
Well,
Turner,
yeah, it just depends if
Trey Turner is
or not, too.
I think Trey Turner is like an unbelievable asset to build a team around. Middle of the order, top of the order, wherever you want to hit him.
Don't disagree at all there, Maddie. Obviously, within the next week, the Cubs and Sox season will be over. And then, like you said, we move on to the Bulls, as Zach alluded to earlier. Open up preseason tonight versus the Pelicans. You're not going to see the big name guys, but hey, like you said, Zach, I mean, it's back, and we're finally getting a little bit of basketball back in our lives. I know you probably think this is a bad take, but I think this just feels like, to me, that college hoop season is right around the corner. I saw a lot of like JUCO and Division threes and Division two, like they started official practice like this past Monday. So, obviously the Division ones have been going for a while, but it's just get that different feeling in the air, And
I'm excited for basketball. Like you said, it gives you something to watch in the weekdays too. There's always a big game, usually Monday, Tuesday for like college basketball and stuff like that. And college basketball is so fun because, like you said, there's so many games of those on TV. So you're always being able to watch at least 2 games a night, if anything.
Yeah, if not more, if you got, the right sports package. Maddie, I know you said you're nervous. Like, what are your for the Bulls to be a top 4 seed in the East, what percentage-wise do you feel right now?
10.
Oh, that low?
The East is good, dude. Cleveland's going to make a huge jump. Milwaukee, Boston, Miami. I mean, those teams are all better than the Bulls.
Zach, what percentage are you thinking the Bulls are going to be a top 4 seed?
Probably 20, 25. I think they're going to be lower than that, but they'll be in the playoffs. They're going to be it's going to be tough this year. Like I said, without Lonzo, who knows when.
I didn't even say Philly or the Nets either.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's gonna be tough. The East is very good. I think the East is better than the West for sure.
For sure, that is facts. Also, at the United Center, the Blackhawks 1-2 in the preseason, but like Matt said, it's kind of brutal right now. They did play a preseason game at the home of the Milwaukee Bucks up in Milwaukee. So, maybe just trying to expand a little bit there. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to get moved to like regular season games. We've seen different teams do this, in the past. I know, like, for instance, the Packers used to play like 2 games a year in Milwaukee or 4 games, but I think this was just kind of one of those, hey, it's a preseason, let's, make some money and bring in a different fan base. But I don't know. What do you think about, the Blackhawks playing a game up in Milwaukee, Maddie?
Whatever. I mean, we've been supporting their economy with the Cubs for a long time. Might as well do it with the Blackhawks too. So shout out, Tom. Love you, man. No, I think my thing with the Blackhawks really at this point is I have one suggestion, and that's take advantage of the ability to get cheap tickets at the United Center on StubHub, Game Time, whatever your app of choice is for that secondhand market right before puck drop day, game day tickets kind of thing. You're going to be able to get bargains. You're going to be able to see Patrick Kane and possibly his last year as a Hawk. Same with Taves. Still got some talented players around, Seth Jones. And yeah, I don't know, man. You might as well go enjoy the ride one last year, I guess.
I like the idea. Let's jump into the topic. Of course, you guys love to talk here. We got the Bears. Tough loss in New York. Still sitting at 2-2. Probably right around or maybe even a little bit better than a lot of people anticipated. Thoughts on Sunday's game in New Jersey, there, fellas?
Gross.
Not great at all. It was a awful game to watch. Then I know we weren't going to keep him, but we get rid of the guy who actually scored points for us.
The only guy that scored points.
You got to get a touchdown. We got to get touchdowns. I know that's a dumb thing to say, I guess, but we got to get touchdowns. We can't get field goal after field goal. And, we have one nice play down at the 30-yard line, and then we just run the ball, and then we can't get it in the end zone. What? it just seems like either the offensive coordinators don't have trust in Justin Fields, or what's going on here, because they're not throwing the ball at all. What was it? I think he at least threw it 20 times this last game. But other than that, it wasn't great.
Yeah, and when you got a young quarterback like that, like, yeah, he's gonna make mistakes, right? He's gonna throw bad balls, but like the fact of the matter is the kid threw like 9 and 12 passes in 2 of the first 3 games. So like,
and
you
I
gotta
do
just kind of
understand.
let him go.
I do understand. Yes, the running game has been great, but you can't be so predictable.
Yeah, when they're just like you said, when they're stacking the box and they know it's coming, it kind of showed itself on Sunday that it wasn't there. I mean, it's good, but you got to have another facet of your game, and it just did not seem to be there.
The problem, in my opinion, is I think you kind of both said it, is they need to take the kid gloves off and just let him play, because like at certain times he made some throws against the Giants, that throw down the middle early in the, I think it might have been in the first quarter, throw down the middle about 25 yards to Mooney. It was a perfect throw, hit him in stride right in the chest. Like Mooney had a chance to make a play, just guy made a good tackle on him for a stop. It was 25-yard gain. Then he had the bomb, the deep ball. It was a beautiful throw, beautiful deep ball, good adjustment. And so you can see the flashes. He looked obviously a lot better than he did against Houston, which thank God, because if it didn't, like, the city might have fallen apart. But I mean, he doesn't have a lot of weapons. The offensive line is not very good in the pass protection aspect of the game. Tevin Jenkins, real quick, that guy is an absolute fucking mauler in the run game. So that's one guy that they do have on the offensive line that I think could be a staple going forward, like a true offensive line staple, like part of a really good offensive line, because that guy's a road grader at guard. And he's been a huge asset there. The run game looked good again. Herbert looks dangerous at times, and that's took a couple chunk plays in the screen game. He's got Shifty just so much better as a backup, or that change of pace. At some
point, we got to change it up a little bit and have some trust.
Right.
In Justin Fields, and I
utilize that run game and run play action. Utilize that attack and expose the defense with it. You know what I mean? Like,
and I also understand. Yes, he doesn't have much time. The offensive line is not giving him much help, but you just gotta have a little more trust in him, I think.
Yeah, the lack of trust, I think, is like, you almost just have to accept the fact that, like, yeah, there's going to be a game where he goes out and he throws 3 interceptions, but like, you have to learn from those mistakes, and if he doesn't make those mistakes, there's nothing to learn from. And I think that, obviously the coach talk is going to say, well, we think we have a team that's going to compete and go to the playoffs, but like, at the end of the day, you have a second-year quarterback who isn't really getting that option to make those mistakes, and you got to open him up a little bit, and you're going to have to do it quick, because you got Minnesota in a divisional game on Sunday. How you guys feeling about that?
I'll be happy to see Kirk Cousins, but
not a primetime game, though. So
not a lot of it's never fun going into most Bears games this season. So
it's a very beatable team. So
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Awesome
absolutely,
to win the game, but
so
Kirk Cousins not in prime time. That's not good.
I got a question for you guys, and I think this is a far-fetched. I can't remember what podcast I heard it on, but like, what do you think it's going to take for the Bears to get Justin Fields to a level, not even the level, but almost to be like a quarterback in the style of like Lamar Jackson? Do you think that's something that they should attain, or like try to go for here? Because like, obviously the kid can run, he's got great legs, and he runs the ball really well, but like, is that something that you guys as Bears fans want to see as turn him into a Lamar Jackson type player?
No, I want to see him be throwing the ball, accurate on his throws, reading the defenses. I don't. Yes, I love the running or whatever, but I want him to be able to throw the ball, because at some point that's going to be predictable, and Lamar Jackson figured it out, and he's gotten better at throwing or whatever. But you can't rely on him running the ball. You have to give him a chance in the throwing game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just, I don't know. Just let him play. You're just gonna have to let him play.
I think that's fair. Before we move on, we have to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. They have the best coffee around that you can find. It's not just the Folgers out of the tin cup that your grandpa used to drink. This is good quality coffee here. They work with our guy Dom Frederick and Ian Happ, so you know it is quality coffee. Those guys are not going to promote bad coffee. Zach doesn't drink bad coffee. Ian Happ doesn't drink bad coffee. Dom doesn't drink bad coffee. You know it's good stuff. Make sure you check out their website, connectroasters.com. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters and get you some delicious, high-quality coffee from our friends over at Connect Roasters. So a big shout-out to our friends over at Connect Roasters. Make sure you go check them out. And also, you can check out here in the next week or so, we got the MLB playoffs coming up, so we got to do our playoff predictions. This is as if the playoffs were to start today. Obviously, there's a little jockeying for the wild card seeds in the league. So we got here. Who do you guys, let's start in the National League. Who do you guys have facing off in the NLCS?
I have this chalk. I'm sorry, but the Braves and Dodgers, they are just the Dodgers are the best team, and the Braves are the second best team, and they're hot.
Yeah, I'm with you in that aspect, but I am kind of, hoping. I'm an agent of chaos sometimes. I want the Braves and the Mets in the AL or the NLCS. I think it's going to be a big task for the Mets to even get past the Padres there in the wild card, and even a bigger task for them to get past the Dodgers. But I would love to see the NL East chaos of this season, the collapse of the Mets, and then they kind of get their redemption here in the NLCS. So I'll take the Mets and the Braves.
That wild card game is Friday night, right? Because that's going to be a really good game.
I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head when they start. I'll look that up as you guys are going. Maddie, who do you got in the National League?
I'm actually with you. I got the Braves and Mets. I think the Dodgers do have a little bit of a lack of like really high-end front-end pitching, in my opinion, with Walker Buehler being hurt. Obviously, they have Kershaw and Urias. Tyler Anderson's good. But none of those guys and Tony Gonsolin, none of those guys really strikes like a ton of fear in you. Like DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett, Taijuan Walker even has had a good year. Edwin Diaz out of the pen. The Mets pitching is legit. And say what you want, that they still won 100 games. It's hard to say a collapse when a team wins 100 games. The Braves got scorching hot in July, August, and September, and they won 100 games. So it's not like they just limped to the finish line. They had a bad series against the Cubs, had an up and down series against the A's, and that's what really sunk them. And I don't know. I'm not turning away from DeGrom and Scherzer with a chance to pitch 4 times in that series.
Definitely.
I know I'm not very smart. Did not realize that all of the wild card games were 3-game series.
Yeah, and they're all the home site. The home site is the lower seed team.
But that's sweet because Friday, Saturday, Sunday we will have all of them playing each day.
So all 3 games are
all 3 games are or all
at
4
the same
games.
place. They're all at the same place, so they're all at the same home. The Mets series will all be in New York. The Cardinals series will all be in St. Louis.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
So it's not they're not going 2 games, and then 1 at the other kind of thing.
Just so you know, I thought you meant that they were all
one central location. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
they did do that for. Did they do that for COVID during COVID?
Yes,
year?
they did.
It'd be like one of those old Little League tournaments, man. You have 2 field, they do it in Chicago or New York, where it's one game going on at Comiskey, one at Wrigley, or Yankee Stadium or City Field, all that. Just rotate. That'd be sweet.
Hey, and I hate to say this because I despise the St. Louis Cardinals, but they're not going to be an easy out. I don't think. I think they're going to give the Braves a hard time. That's going to be a good series.
I agree.
I think if they were playing, it just sucks because if the Braves didn't finish as hot as they did, I would say that, they're going to win that series. But I mean, I just think the Braves are too hot right now.
In the ALCS, I'm sorry, boys. I'm going chalk again. It's that Yankees
come
Astros.
on.
I'm sorry.
Chalk and chalk. That's lame.
That's fine by me. When I'm right, it'll be okay. But I just think that these two teams are the best, and I just don't see either the Guardians or the Rays giving the Yankees a problem. And maybe the Mariners could give the Astros a problem, but I just feel like these are the two best teams. Which
I'm almost the exact opposite.
I'm
think
going crazy in the AL actually too.
Me too. I'm going to go Blue Jays.
You can do whatever you want.
In Guardians here, and I'll explain my rationale. I think it would be a big task for the Guardians to get past the Yankees, but looking at the other one, I think that the Blue Jays have played in a much tougher division and played better teams this year than the Houston Astros have. I don't think the AL West is that good, and I'm thinking that there's room for an upset there.
See, I think the AL West is outstanding, and that's why I'm going with the Mariners to beat the Blue Jays, and then the Mariners to also beat Houston. Because look at that, it's the same reasoning for me as it was for the Mets. I'm taking the pitching. Logan Gilbert, Robbie Ray, George Kirby, and I know I'm missing somebody else now. And I'm Luis Castillo. They just traded for from the Reds. That's big arms, and I think that's where you can neutralize Toronto, and I think that's where you can hang with Houston. Houston's experience is going to be a problem. I do agree with you on Cleveland. I think Cleveland is going to be a problem only because that team is scrappy as shit, and they got good pitching too. Bieber, Quantrill, McKenzie. They got a bunch of good pitchers. Klaus is at the pen. Game gets to the ninth inning, it's over with him. So I'm with you. I got Cleveland and the Mariners in the ALCS.
And I think, like with the Yankees, I'm probably just over exaggerating here, but like the Yankees, it feels like the focus has not been on the play on the field. It's been about one guy's at bats for the last month, and they've kind of just coasted to a divisional win there. I mean, they won that division. It felt like in June it was over, and
they can absolutely mash. So it's like one of those things that the Yankees could just absolutely storm through the AL too. It would not shock me one bit.
Yeah. Yep. So let's move to the World Series. Zach, who's your prediction in the World Series? Probably both number one seeds?
Nope. Yankees, Braves. Shut up, dude. Oh, yeah, because I can pick random numbers, and then I just think they're going to be right. Just wait until I'm right. Yankees, Braves, and then I have the Yankees winning the World Series.
Yankees, Braves. Okay.
All right. I'll take
it's actually both number two seeds, Zach. Tell them to shove it.
Fair enough. I am going to go Cleveland Guardians and the New York Mets. The New York Mets win the World Series.
You son of a bitch. I got the Mets winning it too.
That's the craziest thing is your guys' team could literally be eliminated as of Sunday.
Totally agree. But I'm going to the Mets. Mets to win it. I think for most of the year, they were as good as anybody, and their pitching is electric.
You say
from
that,
the AL,
but their best two pitchers had a chance to win that division for them, or at least help them, and lost. They lost all three of those games to the Braves, with their best pitchers going.
I'll take their track record over one start.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that they didn't even need to be in this spot. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I agree, but they're there, and I think they got the horses to get themselves out of it. From the AL, though, I think it's going to be – I'm going to go Seattle. There's something weird about that team. I think they've got a little bit of a spark. They've got dynamite pitching, and they got a bunch of good hitters. I think they could be a really, really tough out.
I like that. Let's wait to see how this plays out, boys. This is going to be fun. MLB playoffs starting this Friday, so make sure you got the extra TV fired up.
October baseball is sick. I mean, come on. Even if the Cubs aren't in it, it's awesome.
It is fantastic. Let's go ahead and move into the NFL Week 5 pick show. If you guys wait, Maddie's got to wedge his lucky horseshoe up his rear end here because he was hot again last week. Maddie went 5-1. Maddie is firmly in first place at 17-7 right now. I am trailing at 13-11. Zach went 3-2-1. He is at 10-13-1, and then Pigoy 3-3 again for a 10-14 record. So, boys, what are we getting into this week? Let's go ahead and start off with the noon games. I will take the Tennessee Titans -2.5 on the road at the Commanders. I think the Commanders are the worst team in the NFL, and the Titans are starting to look a little bit better. So I just don't see how they don't cover 2.5 here. I just saw it at 2.5, so I'll change that.
I just put it in at 2.5 myself on DraftKings, so I'm changing it.
And then I will also take the Pittsburgh Steelers at +14 at Buffalo. Buffalo showed they were pretty vulnerable last week, and I don't know if they're going to go with Kenny Pickett or Mitch, but I think they're going to keep this. They're going to get beat, but I think they're going to keep it under 2 touchdowns.
I saw a tweet from like a gambling, expert from some website. He was saying, when was the last time you saw Pittsburgh +14 in the NFL?
Yeah, doesn't happen very often.
No.
I'll go next. I have the Falcons +8.5 at
the
Bucs.
That. It's not one of my picks. I like it, Zach.
It's divorce week for Tom Brady, so the Falcons +8.5.
It's a tough. Falcons been tough, dude. They're a scrappy team,
and I don't think the Bucs are very good.
No,
I agree. Their defense got lit up.
And then I have the Chargers -3.5 going into Cleveland. I think the Browns are pretty awful too.
I didn't play either of those. I like them both though.
Don't hate that.
Thank you.
Let's move to our afternoon slate.
Do I get to do mine?
Or I'm sorry, Maddie.
No, it's okay.
I was going off of the order on the spreadsheet.
No,
the guy we don't want to hear from the guy who's got the hottest picks on the show, Boomy.
Yeah, sorry. This is what everybody came for. I apologize.
Silence me some more, Boomy. I'm riding with you. Actually, I'm taking the Titans -2.5. I think sometimes some of it it makes you feel trappy, but sometimes you just can't avoid the trap. So I'm going to walk right into that one. Whatever. I think they're the better team by far.
I will gladly go down betting against Carson Wentz and the horrible Washington Commanders.
Absolutely, and I think Ron Rivera's is showing some chinks in the armor a little bit, and it's one of those. I don't know, man. I just feel like Tennessee's just going to storm up and down the field against them. I think Derrick Henry's just going to shove it down their throat. And then I'm going to take another one that also feels a little trappy, but I don't care. I'll take it anyway. It's Miami -3. They're a way better team than the Jets. It's just that's not even really a debate, in my opinion. So I'm just going to take the coin flip that they're going to win by more than the field goal, and I'm going to take the Dolphins. 2 or no 2.
Let's move in to the afternoon slate. Not much because of the Sunday morning London game, which none of us took, the Packers and the Giants. But let's take the afternoon slate. I will start off. I will take the Cardinals +5.5. I feel like I'm dying on this Cardinals hill, but at home, 2-2. I feel like I've bet the Cardinals every week, and I keep getting bit right in the ass about it. But
last week.
I just feel like they're better than they're playing. They still haven't reached their peak yet, and I feel like the Eagles showed last week. I know they pulled the game out, but to a very average Jacksonville team, there's definitely some deficiencies there. But I'm kind of hoping that Arizona chooses this week to kind of get the wheels rolling there. And let's see my other pick.
Oh, you're gonna go.
Sorry,
you got 2 now. You have 2.
Yep, that's my fault. I'll do my other one. I got the Rams -4. I think this Cooper Rush thing has to run out at some point, and the Rams got to get right. The Rams are 2-2, look terrible on Monday night. They got to bounce back. They got a home game. What a perfect time to do it against a team that's kind of on the rise right now with Cooper Rush at quarterback. And Matt Stafford could not have looked worse, I think, on Monday night. So big bounce back here, covering 4.
I'm going to go with the opposite of Boomy there, with the Eagles minus 5.5 in Arizona. I think this Eagles team is for real, and I think the Cardinals stink. And then the 49ers minus 6.5 going into Carolina. Speaking of teams who stink, the Panthers. Baker Mayfield, my goodness, what happened?
Yeah, fans are calling for Sam Darnold. That's how you know things are getting bad.
Yeah.
And the 49ers, they looked good. They got their running game going. They had the passing game going. Jimmy G out there. I know it sounds crazy, but they look better than they did at the beginning of the season. I know all you really saw from Trey Lance was a game in Chicago, which doesn't even count because it was so bad. And then he got hurt early. But this guy has gotten you through the playoffs. I just think that the 49ers going forward is going to be a pretty good team.
Hard to disagree.
I'm up against Boomy in both. I got the Eagles minus 5.5. I think they're just a far better team. Like I've been on the Cardinals as well. I think that team is not very good at all. I just don't think it's a very good squad. And I think Philly is for real. I've been waiting for that to fall apart because I've never been a Jalen Hurts guy, even back into college when he just kept proving me wrong there. Continues to just prove me wrong in the NFL too. So I just obviously do not know how to look at quarterbacks or assess their ability to produce in the NFL because he's the goods right now. And I think Philly's defense is tough too. I just think they're just a far better team than the Cardinals. And I don't think the Cooper Rush, the Gold Rush, is going to run out quite yet. I think the Rams just might not be very good. They've lost a lot of talent from the Super Bowl team. There's an obvious hangover a little bit. And let's face it, Matt Stafford is looking much more like Detroit Matt Stafford than Rams Matt Stafford of last year. So I don't know. Not having Odell Beckham, not having Von Miller, not having some of the other parts around them that they had, offensive line pieces, some are gone there. They're not getting production out of the running game. I don't know. I don't think the Rams are that good right now.
From what we've seen, you're not incorrect. Let's move to the Sunday night game. We got an AFC North battle. We got the Ravens hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm on the Ravens here. I don't think the Bengals are good. They cannot protect Joe Burrow. The Ravens defense is solid. Tough one last week, giving a game away against the Bills. And I think the Bengals, I said it back in August, I don't think this team is as good as they were in the way they caught lightning in a bottle. And if they can't keep Joe Burrow protected, they're going to struggle. So I'll take the Ravens minus 3.
I'm with Boomy.
And Maddie?
I'm with you. I think I don't agree with your reasoning. I do think the Bengals are good. I just think it's a bad spot here because Baltimore, I mean, how do you lose that game to Buffalo? You had them. You had them beat. You had them dead to the rights. I think it's almost a little bit of a must-win kind of early in the season to right the ship a little bit. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big one. You drop to 2 and 3. You're in that division. I mean, you're kind of asking for trouble.
Yeah, and the Bengals
Monday
are riding
night,
a little bit of a wave.
Yeah. We will see. We're all on the Ravens so far, so maybe looking at a show bet here, depending on what Pegler goes. Monday night, we have the Chiefs hosting the Raiders. I will take the Raiders plus 7. I know the Chiefs are so good, but I've also got their season total under 10.5 wins. So I think the Raiders at some point, they got to figure it out. There's just too much talent there. And I know it's probably a stretch, but I'll take them at plus 7 in Kansas City.
I'm going to take Chiefs minus 7.
I agree.
If the Raiders are going to figure it out, it's not going to be this week.
The Chiefs look like a well-oiled machine right now, offensively, and I don't see that slowing down from the Raiders by any means.
Well, you guys are on the Chiefs. I'm on the Raiders. We'll have the graphic out Sunday morning that Pigoy always puts up. Make sure you check that out for all of our picks. And let's move into how we always finish the show. We got the TCF top 3. Me and Zach were brainstorming last night, and we're going to make sure that we hit some different Halloween themed things for the rest of this month. So this week we got the TCF top 3 of horror movies, and I will say that this is one I'm very excited for. I watch a ton of horror movies. It's one of my favorite genres. So my honorable mention list is going to be very long. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first. The newest one. Oh, I don't like clowns. I hate clowns. They're the worst.
I hate clowns too. I can't even watch it.
Well, I'm just saying, it's the scariest movie. It's the scariest movie to me.
I see what you did there. Yeah, it is the scariest to you. I see what you did there.
I think it's a pretty good movie too, but oh goodness, that scares me.
Fair enough. Maddie, do you want the 2 or the wraparound?
I want the wrap. I just am very pissed off now about Zach's pick. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I couldn't even take that in actuality because I've never seen it. I can't bring myself to watch it. So I'm going to go with the original movie that got me into horror movies and slasher films, and that's the original Halloween back from like 1976.
Jesus fucking Christ, both of you.
Oh, it's one of my favorite of all time. It would kind of like introduce the genre. I love it. And I've loved all of the, not to tip picks or anything, but all of the remakes ever since, except for Halloween 3 that did not have Michael Myers in it, which was super weird. That was a weird movie. But yeah, Halloween, the original.
I'm on tilt because that was my first 2 picks. I take this back because Zach wanted the original It because that's the one I grew up on myself. Was like the
you can have that one.
I know, but that's just like, come on, I keep that's just you can't do that. That's just you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they're both good. The new one was good too. I'm not shitting on it by any means. I'm gonna go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's been redone. It's been redone well. The original was great too. The storyline's awesome. Being trapped. This one's a shitty, horrible movie, but it's a personal one for me. And it's not a true horror movie in this. It's more of like it's borderline thriller, but it's got a bad guy and on a shadowy figure as a horror, kind of committing the acts of murder. And it's Joyride. Paul Walker with Candy Cane, the fucking semi driver, chasing him down, the dark highway, fucking across the country kind of thing, terrorizing them the whole way. I thought that movie was awesome. So I shouldn't say the movie was awesome. The storyline was awesome, and there were some great one-liners in it as well.
I like that pick, Matty. That's kind of one of I've got a couple of those in my honorable mention that not a lot of people like, but I love.
It's one of those cheesy, cheesy movies I like. Whatever.
Oh, for sure. I'll go Scream, the original Scream. Phenomenal movie. Scared the absolute piss out of me when I was little. I probably watched it earlier than I probably should have, but the original Scream was amazing. I will take that with my second round pick.
I'm gonna go with I don't know. They make a bunch of them, but the first Paranormal Activity. That movie.
Yeah, any of the first 3 are really good.
The way it was done, though, like with just like a camcorder, and it was a very good movie. And then I'm gonna go with Signs, just a old-fashioned good movie.
I like that pick.
Well, it's not old-fashioned. It was like 2007, probably.
Oh, Signs. That was like 01 maybe. Yeah, I like that.
I could never guess if you gave me a movie. I would never know the year. Some people just know them. I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you there. Man, I've got so many here. I'm looking through. I even think like the Scream series, all of them were really good. Me and my wife talked about this for like 20 minutes last night, so I'm trying to dig deep here. I'll take this is a personal pick. Maddie, you might have remembered this movie, but it's called Urban Legend.
Oh yeah.
It's not a very quality movie by a lot of people's standards, but I love it. Is it the one
that's like on surveillance, like camera, a lot of it or whatever?
No, like, where they're all in college and they like have this like sociology class and they're talking about urban legends and then people start to die based on those urban legends.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
It's
maybe I'm not thinking of the same movie, I guess.
It's really good. It's one of my all-time favorites. So it's not, great by any stretch, but it's just one of those that always stuck with me. So
I'm going to go with an old school one. They're closing out. It's Pet Sematary. That movie was wild. Stephen King, another classic from maybe the late 70s, early 80s. Animals that are buried and then come back to life.
do you think that's Stephen King's, is that like his second? I know you said you liked it. Is that like his second tier for you?
I don't know that I would say second tier. I think he's got a lot of first tier. Cujo was crazy. That was a little bit nuts. Didn't he do Shawshank too? And Green Mile? I know he did. I'm pretty sure he did the Green Mile, but I thought he did Shawshank Redemption too. Like Stephen King's has got even if he didn't do those, I could definitely be wrong.
We haven't even talked
got a sick catalog for him.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. What are some ones that we missed? I have a pretty deep list.
Final Destination was another cheesy one that I liked.
Yep. I like
Disturbia. Shout out to my niece, Madison.
Yes.
I watched Disturbia with her. We always talk about that. I think she was probably she spent the night at our house, me and Maggie, and the three of us stayed up and watched Disturbia at 2 a.m. She was I don't know, 7th or 8th grade probably. And
that's a really
just one of those movies we just have a connection to now. So shout out to her for Disturbia. That was one for me. Yeah,
I've got the Conjuring series. Those were all really good.
The Shining.
I liked all. The Shining. Yep, that's another Stephen King. Let's see which other ones I got here. American Psycho. That was amazing. Christian Bale. Absolutely love that movie.
The Ring, I thought was a little bit crazy.
Good. The American side, that one is a wild ride. Carrie's okay. Here's some more newer ones that I'm a big fan of: The Strangers and the Crazies. Those were pretty wild stuff. I like those ones a lot.
Those are separate movies. The Strangers and the Crazies. It's not one movie like the title.
The Strangers is like the people with the bags over their head and they break into those people's house. And then the Crazies was remember a plane crashed in a water source in Iowa and made these people lose their minds and stuff.
Well, Zombieland, would you consider that a horror movie or no?
No, I think I classify that under comedy, which I do love that movie.
I agree. There's one more I was going to throw out that I couldn't think, and now I'm drawing a blank.
I could do 45 minutes on horror movies. I've seen, it feels like all of them. There's a ton. I just started watching one called The Town That Feared Sundown, and I don't think it's very good, but it's got me drug in. Here's a question my wife asked, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Get Out, is that considered like a horror, or would you guys put that as a thriller?
I've never seen it.
Oh, Get Out's amazing. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Zach, have you seen Get Out?
No.
Matt, where do you stand on the Blair Witch Project?
I liked it.
I feel like Zach would like that too. I mean, he's a big Paranormal Activity guy, very similar in that aspect.
That's the movie I was thinking about, Paranormal Activity, the one that's surveillance in-house or whatever.
Yeah, was that your second round pick?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just missed that because I was going through my phone trying to catch one for the third round, and that was when I
How they did it so cheap too.
Yeah, very
there
low
are
budget.
3 of them, 3 or 4. I know what one I was going to bring up. The one where it's they have 24. The Purge.
The Purge.
Is that considered a horror movie?
Yes, it is.
Is that a thriller or a horror movie? You know what I mean?
No, that's
a horror movie. That's
okay.
It's not super scary, but it's scary.
It's got an intense storyline. I like the storyline. Some of it's cheesy, but some of it's kind of it's an interesting analysis of the brain of what you would do in those.
For sure. One of the last ones
that might need to be that might need to be a TCF top 3 at some. What would you do on the Purge? 3 activities.
3 things you do in the Purge. I don't hate that. Zach, any other ones we forgot? How do you feel about the Saw movies?
Oh yeah,
let's just say I don't watch a lot of scary movies.
He never struck me as a horror movie guy.
Jigsaw, that guy's nuts.
I like funny movies.
I agree with Zach. I'm more of the comedy. My wife's much more in the horror movies. She likes those.
Oh, I told my wife I had to bring this one up. This is one of the most screwed up movies I've ever seen, but I Spit on Your Grave. I absolutely love that movie. If you want to be shocked and awed, watch that. That's one of the craziest horror movies I've ever seen. That one almost made me
thank you.
as close to being physically ill as possible. That's a wild movie. Let us know what we missed. I'm sure there's tons out there. We might have to do a breakdown of even more, but lots of good stuff here. But thank you, as always, for joining us. That was episode 149 of Typical Chicago Fans. We appreciate our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee, for the incredible coffee that they make. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters and find them online at connectroasters.com. You can find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago, Facebook and Instagram, YouTube as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to those pages. Wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe, rate if you can, leave a review if you can. Let a friend know. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF and Zach at ZLiliaTCF. And, of course, Maddie right up there at schools_01. We appreciate you joining us. That was episode 149 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.